on this computer. So the very first thing is we have to learn that everybody's different and they need a different learning style. Okay. And let me just say this. Some of us may have felt like I've been leading too long. There's no, I don't even know how to restart. Guess what? It's okay to restart, because maybe when you got into leadership, you weren't quite mentally ready, or you didn't understand, or you didn't grasp, but now you do. So it's okay if you failed before, not even failed, but it's okay if you had a rough start in your leadership. Do not let that discourage you. Do not let that say, oh, you know what, I'm not a good leader. No, maybe you just were not trained on how to be a leader, and you weren't shown, because maybe you joined in our growth spurt. We had a crazy banana growth spurt in September, and we just our numbers shot up, and people were just being added. Sean, do you remember that? Like, people were just being added left and right. And Karina, do you guys remember, like, we couldn't keep up, like we couldn't train fast enough. It wasn't, and people just got kind of thrown in. So that's why I thought it was so important to do this. So we have to refocus, and we have to rebuild our foundation as leaders, or not even rebuild, maybe just build. Nicole, you just got into leadership, right? Like, you just brought on your new teamie. Okay, so and Christina, you just brought on your new teamie. So it's not even rebuilding for you, it's building a foundation. So you guys are in right at the right time. The very first thing we have to do is understand is we cannot save everyone. And I was just talking to Vanessa about this today. If they don't want it, we have to move on. Sometimes we're like, oh, but she seems like she would do really good. Oh, she says she wants to do this, or I don't understand why she doesn't answer me back. This is what I do with those type of people. I message them on the first of the month. Hey, how are you? What's your goal for the month? Let me know. I'm here to help. They ghost me. They act like I didn't text them. Okay. And I don't take it personal. At first I did. And I was like, dude, how rude. Like, they didn't text me back. Like, who does that? Like, that's not even cool. Like, I learned. Anyways, so then, I text them on the 15th of the month. We're halfway through the month. And I say, hey, girlfriend, I'm just checking in on you. Let me know if there's anything you need. You only need $200 to be active this month. Or else, if I know maybe they're going through something, I will say, hey, I'm just checking in on you. How are you and the family doing? And I won't even mention Scentsy. And sometimes that's how I get them to respond, because they're like, oh, I'm doing good. And people love to talk about their problems. So maybe they want to just be like, oh, I'm having a hard time, and my husband, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to build that connection, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. And then I text them on the last day of the month, and I say, oh my God, it's the last day of the month. How are you doing? Let me know if there's anything you need help with. I would say 80% of the time, the people that ghost me the entire month. And then all of a sudden they pop up out of nowhere. They don't even say hello. By the way, if you're texting your sponsor or your director, can you greet them first and not just go right like, can you send me the link to the catalog? I'm like, hello, good morning. Like that, it's just common sense, common courtesy, say hello. Yeah, that was for free. That kind of threw me off, but I'd say that because I'm like, oh my God, do these people, hello. What was I saying? I threw myself off right now. Somebody unmute and tell me what the heck I was saying.
You were saying at the end of the month, you text them or you send them like a text to see how they were doing.
Thank you. See, I go off in another world and I forget. Okay, so on the last day of the month, and I just touch base with them. And it's okay if they ignored you the whole month. Oh, well, you are doing your job. Don't ever let these people that don't want it make you feel like you're doing something wrong. If you're communicating, you're putting yourself out there, you are doing your job. Okay, when you start into leadership, Scentsy says a leader in Scentsy is supposed to steward their people. If you're stewarding your person, guess what? You're doing your job. You can't make them respond, okay? Now, one of the main things that we train on, and I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, is the 3 legs of success. And as a leader, we need to master these. If you have not seen this, go into the leaders page and go into files and print this out and put it in your binder, put it on your desk, wherever you work. Okay, it talks about the 3 legs of success, the 3 main parts of business, of leadership in this business, which is sales, sponsoring, and coaching. Okay, and it gives you ideas of what to discuss with your team on there. And if you see the top of the bench, it says self-care, because self-care is huge, because you could burn out in this business because it's go, go, go. It's repetitive. And some of us, like, we have the best months of our life, right? And then the first of the month, we're back at 0. And we're like, oh God, here we go again, right? I feel like that. Like, when I had my $10,000 month, I was like, yeah, 10,000. And then I wake up the next morning, I'm like, oh, 0 certified, 0 frontline, and I'm just like, here we go again. It can be redundant. And us as leaders, we have to protect ourselves from burnout. So let me ask you this. Which one of you guys can come on and talk to me about your self-care? What is something that you do for yourself that is not sensy, that makes you feel better and a breather? Talk to me, somebody. Anybody?
I'll go.
Okay.
Well, like you, I am a Christian, but so I take the time to read publications, read my Bible, just do things to self-reflect and to get positive, and maybe something that's discouraging, I can get something uplifting, and it'll change my whole perspective for the day.
I love that. It's true. I love that. Anybody else want to share what they do for self-care?
I love hiking, getting outdoors.
That's awesome. Hiking. I wish I liked hiking. A lot of my friends like hiking, and I'm just, they want to go hiking. Why? Like, no. Hiking to the mall, or where are we going? So no, but that's good, Shani. It's very healthy for you. I need to like that maybe one day. My point is, you guys, we need to master these so that we can teach our team to master this. Because if you have rock stars on your team, let me look who we have here. Karina, for example, you have rock stars on your team. We'll use, what's her name? Which is the one I was trying to promote recently, Maribel?
Maribel's under Tiffany, I believe.
Okay. For example, that's a rock star on Sandra's team or Vicky's team or Tiffany's team, one of the girls' teams. And she busted her tail last month. She didn't get her goal, but she worked her hardest. Guess what? How discouraged could she be? Right? Like, I tried my best, but it didn't happen this month. We need to make sure our people know how to self-care, know how to bounce back, know how to take a second to rest but not quit. Because a lot of us, when we face discouragement, or when we get overwhelmed because we have husbands and they overwhelm us and stuff, or we have kids and they overwhelm us and stuff, a lot of us will be like, you know what, I'm going to put my kit down, meaning pausing Sensi. Then it's kind of too heavy for them to pick back up, so they just put it down again. So we have to learn how to build the culture in our team. Are you self-caring? How many of us do coaching calls? It's okay if you don't. Let me just see a hands up, or action plans, whatever you want to do. Okay, that's huge, guys. That's a huge momentum killer, momentum boost. It's a huge way to connect. And let me just insert this right now. In order for our teams to grow, in order for our teams to flourish, in order for our teams to multiply, they have to trust us. And by trusting us, I mean they have to have some type of relationship with us, not just, and I'm not talking about our direct frontline. Those of you who have people that have people under them, that's your group. When you hit director, baby, those are yours, right, Karina? Right, Rebecca? Is Rebecca still on here? I don't see her anymore. Okay, right, Karina? Like, when you promote, that's your group. You don't want to promote to director and have a bunch of people that don't know who you are. You need to start building that connection with every single person in your group, which means who you sponsored and who they sponsored. Okay, so that way, when you're communicating with your group, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm getting a vibe for who this chick is. Like, I feel her. Like, okay, I know what she stands for. I know what she's about. You're not going to always like everybody in your group, by the way. It's just a fact because people are different and they're not always going to like you. I have people in squad goals that don't like me, but it's okay. I'm still going to lead them. And that's what we have to have the mindset. We can't take anything personal. Okay. So if somebody rubs you the wrong way or somebody cops an attitude with you, guess what? You remain professional. You keep your composure and you stay blameless. Okay. And above reproach, because you don't want to give them any reason to be like, Rihanna, my sponsor said this to me, because that's what I get. And I'm just like, I know this person, like I know their sponsor. And guess what? I will always, this is why I like to connect with you guys. And this is why I like to have you guys on Facebook and social media so I can see what you're about and stuff like that. I will always have my leaders back before anything. I will say, okay, let me talk to my leader and see what this is about. And then I'll go from there. So just know that I always have your guys back.
Rihanna, it's just like a job though. Who always has sorry, I got sidetracked. Who always likes their superiors? I mean, there's always going to be some kind of maybe you don't like the way that they run the business, or they don't like the way you're doing something. There's always going to be a something that you're not meshing well with, but you got to learn to work your differences out and to grow from there.
I agree 100%. And remember, this is a business. It's not a fangirl club, and it's not a cool girls club. And whoever's on your team is on your team, girlfriend. You can't get rid of them. So it is what it is. When you skip steps from this 3 layers of success, you hinder your foundation and you hinder your group growth. Okay, so if you decide like, I'm not really strong on PRV, so I'm not going to learn about it and I'm not going to teach my team about it. Guess what you're going to struggle with? Active frontline. And guess what? When you want to promote and your GWV is there because your group is killing it, your PRV ain't even hitting 500, so you can't promote. How can you teach your team something that you're not doing? Okay, the main thing that we should be focused on as leaders for PRV is getting at least 500 a month, every single month, or you don't get paid on anybody that's on your team. Did you guys know that? You can have 33 people under you and you get not 1 penny if you don't hit your goals. And the reason why Sensi does that is because it protects us from becoming a pyramid scheme. Because there's some companies that once you get to the top, you don't gotta work. You kick your feet up and you just keep getting paychecks. That would be amazing, but that's not what we do. And that's why we're not a pyramid scheme. So if anybody ever tells you, oh, that's like a pyramid scheme because you guys build teams, and no, honey, let me school you. We are not like a pyramid scheme because we have to work no matter what, and we have numbers to meet, or we don't get paid on anybody that's under us. So be confident about that. We have a company that's badass. So this is what we protect ourselves against. Maybe you're not strong on sponsoring, and that's okay. Did you guys know that sponsoring is the hardest thing to do in this business? Absolutely the hardest, hands down. But guess what? What are you doing about it? You can't just kick your feet up and say, I'm not good at it. And no, guess what? If you guys don't start recruiting at least 1 a month, or maybe there's going to be zeros here and there when you guys are first getting a grasp of it, your business is going to shrink. If you are not growing, then you're dying. Because guess what? This person is going to say, I don't want to do this anymore. And they're not in leadership. They have no ties. They have no connections. That it's so easy for these certified and below to be like, I don't want to do it anymore. There's 1 active frontline gone. This is getting too much. Oh, I need to take a break. I'm pregnant. I can't work when I'm pregnant. Okay, there's another one gone. Life happens, you guys. If we're not constantly sponsoring, we are going to lose our team. We're going to lose our title. We're going to lose that extra pay. And we work so hard for it. Number 1 thing, keep building. What about coaching? That's our 3rd leg. If we're not coaching our teams, what do you think they're going to do when they bring in new teamies for the most part? They're not going to coach their teams because they ain't going to know no different. Oh, you just add people. That's what you do. You add them and you throw them in squad goals and you tag them in a post. That's not leading, by the way. Leading is not tagging in a post. It helps for them to see information, but that's not leading. One of the assignments that I want you guys to work on is I want you guys to start having action plan calls, AKA coaching calls. You might say, oh, I only have 1 teamie. It starts with 1 and then it gets more comfortable and you build and you're like, okay, next person. Now I got a coach. Now I'm going to have a schedule a coaching call. If you do not know what to say during your coaching call, guess what? There is something that can help you figure it out. Let me show you. So say you have somebody that is essential, brand new, essential consultant to certified. These are in the files in this group. Okay. This tells you what to talk about and what to train them on. When you pick up that, hey, coaching calls, I'm trying to say 50 things at once. Hey, I'm available for a coaching call today. Let me know, or next week, let me know what day during the week you'd like to discuss, and let me know if there's anything particular that you want to talk about. Okay. They might have something on their mind, and you let that you lead first. When you plan that call, you pick from that list. Look at their numbers. If their PRV is weak, pick something on here that talks about PRV. And on your third leg, actually it's the first leg. PRV is the first leg. Talk about events, talk about bag parties, talk about anything that you guys, it's right here, what to talk about. So if you're not confident, it's okay. Oh my, I don't even know what to talk about. It's right here, you guys. It's right here. Okay. I want you guys to schedule your first coaching call if you've never done it, and I want to hear about it. I'm challenging you because the leadership is going to start with you. And then when that person starts to build, they're going to say, oh, my leader does coaching calls, so I need to do coaching calls. Then it's going to start trickling down, and your foundation is going to be strong. Guess what, you guys? We are only as strong as our front line. If they're not multiplying, if they're not training, if they're not learning, then it's going to stop right there. You want them to multiply. You want them to grow. You want them to keep doing it, right? Don't let your coaching calls be more than 15 minutes. Don't let them lead the conversation. As soon as you get on the phone, hey girl, how are you? If they start to, oh, my life, and say, kindly interject and say, you know what, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Let's schedule a call where we can just talk about that only and no business. That way we show that we still care, because we do, but right now we're going to discuss this, and then we're going to move on from there. And then lead with, okay, well, today, let's talk about your PRV. You had a little bit of struggle last month, but let's talk about what you did right. And then tell them, like, oh, you posted the bag. Did you coach your host when you gave her the bag? Like, ideas like that. Okay. And I'm going to actually upload the new action plan form that I just trained your directors on the other day on Monday, and they loved it, and they cannot wait to do it with you guys, and you guys are going to get to do it with your teamies, and it's so easy. You guys are going to see. I'm going to upload it, and then I'll give you instructions on how to use it. You guys are going to love it. I love it. Rebecca loved it. She was like, oh my God, girl, this is so easy. Okay. So make sure you're coaching. When you promote fast and without coaching and skipping one of those legs, you're going to struggle. And if you're not sponsoring, you're going to struggle with active frontline. So say you promoted to superstar consultant, you need 3 active frontline, but guess what? One of your girls fell off because she's pregnant and she don't want to do this no more. Now you only have 2. So how are you going to get paid at title now? You know what I mean? Like, we always have to be thinking ahead. So we have to make sure that we're not skipping any of these 3 legs, no matter how hard they are, because this is what you need to grow a successful business. Okay. I've been in the business for almost 4 years. I've been recruiting for 4 years. It didn't stop. If I stop recruiting at Superstar Director, guess what? My team is going to shrink, and I'm not going to have any more directors promote. And then what? I'm in big trouble. Okay. Then I'm going to go back down to certified consultant after 4 years of working my tail off. That's not going to happen. Okay. Can your teams trust you? Are you consistent? Do any of you guys have a team page? Karina, I know you do. Shondine, you have a team page. Selena, I know you have a page. If you don't have a team page and you are at least star title and you are consistently hitting 500 a month, you need to make yourself 500 PRV a month. You need to make yourself a team page, because you need to start to develop a culture and let them see that you are their group leader. Because once you hit director, again, you're on your own. Not on your own, but your group breaks off and you have to train. Are you consistent? in your communication with them? Are you stable or are you all over the place? 1 minute you're texting them, you're happy to be in Sensi, the next minute you're ghost. They can't get a hold of you. Oh, I'm busy, or you just ignore them. If who am I missing? Nobody. Okay. Are you transparent with your group, or do you make it seem like you're the most perfect Sensi consultant who knows everything there is to know? If we come across like that, you guys, as a leader, it's going to be unreachable. It's going to be a turnoff for some. Oh, her life is perfect. That's why she succeeds. I had somebody tell me the other day, and that's why I shared this in my story. I had somebody tell me the other day, oh, it's because you're a stay-at-home mom. That's why you were able to build a strong business, because you're home all the time. I said, girlfriend, I worked a 9-to-5 job and I worked my ass out of that job. So since you think you know what you're talking about, that's why it's so important to be transparent, because we have to let people see our struggle. If we have a party that fails, talk about it. Let them know that it's normal. Build that trust to where they say, you know what? Oh, she's real. Oh, okay, so she failed and she shared it with me. She's not embarrassed, because some people think they have this image to keep up, like, oh yeah, I did a party and it was amazing, and they didn't get one sale because they're embarrassed to say that it flopped. I've done plenty of events that flopped, and I share that. We have to make our people comfortable. We have to be transparent. We have to show a humility. We do not know everything. If we don't know the answer, say that. I don't know, but let me find out. Don't just spit out something from the side of your neck, and then these people are like, oh, she's wrong, and she acted like she knew everything, because people are judgmental. So we have to make sure that we stay blameless. What the heck does that say? I don't even know what I was trying to say in this note. I'm like, I'm not going to say it because I don't put it on YouTube, but I spelled something wrong and it made me laugh right now. So that's why I'm like, they're not say that, because I don't know what I was trying to say. I think I was thinking of something else. Anyways, I don't want to try to force any one of you guys to lead your teams. But what I do want to start seeing happen more and more in our groups is that we're stepping out and doing our own trainings. So whoever doesn't have a group, if your only form of communication is Messenger, you need to step it up, because you cannot train, like you can't upload documents on Messenger. You can't do all the stuff that you need to do as a group to where they feel united and connected and bonded. Because once your group starts interacting with each other, you guys may seem like, oh, it's not happening yet. I was there, you guys. I had one teamie. I had 2 teamies. I had 3 teamies. I had a group page, and nobody talked to each other. They only talked to me. So then they little by little, they started interacting, and we became squad goals. 576 deep now, baby. And that's how, because we started from day one building that culture. We need to build some type of Marco Polo where they can see each other's faces, or team page. If you're not let me say this, if you guys are not engaging in your director's page, please start, because that's where your teamies are going to see that as well. And they're going to say, oh, it's normal to interact here. It's not just Karina talking, or it's not just Selena, the director, talking. It's not Rihanna just talking. We can all share here, and they'll start to feel comfortable, and then they'll start stepping out. And let me challenge you guys on this. Put this on your to-do list also. I want you guys to start taking more ownership in that squad goals page, because that's your home. That's your hub. Your director's page is where you guys are birthed, I guess you can say. But Squad Goals Mama page, that's where you go and you celebrate yourself. Shout people out, shout your teamies out, shout actives out, shout people that are close to promotion, share stuff that you've done. You'll encourage people, and people, your teamies that are on that page will say, oh, Nicole's on there posting, she's a leader. Oh, look at all those people talking. They build a respect for you guys without even knowing they're doing it. And then that authoritative figure starts to take place in their mind, like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. Oh, okay, so I could talk to her because other people are asking her a question. People are funny, and sometimes they only think, oh, I can only talk to the director about this. Oh, the director. Girl, please go to your sponsor. Your sponsor knows what she's doing. And I will always and forever direct everybody back to their sponsor, because that's a chain of command. And that's what we should be teaching our teamies, by the way. If we don't have a business hours, we need to get business hours. How many of us have business hours? Okay, I see maybe one or two. And guess what? I didn't have business hours for a long time, and it affected my marriage. It affected my family. It affected my business. I was working 24/7. I was answering phone calls at 11 p.m. I was texting. My customers don't have business hours because they just don't, because that's my bread and butter. That's where my money's coming from. But my teamies do. My business hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. unless it's something that we're doing with the launch party or something like that. We do that at night. You guys need to set that. And if you have a page, put that posted and pinned under the announcements so that they can know that you have business hours. This is a business. You can't go into a business office and knock on the door at 7 and be like, hey, where do I post this? You know, you can't do that. That's not, go figure it out. After your business hours, they can post on the team page and ask a question, right? Because we have a lot of people on there. After business hours, they can go to Google, they can go to YouTube, they can do all, make sure they know the avenues where they can go find answers, okay? Because it's not always sponsors. Sponsors should be like number 3. It should be Workstation, YouTube, Google, Pinterest, all that, then sponsor, then director, then star director, and then superstar director. Very rarely does anything really meet me unless it's really critical and people are like calling each other out their names and then I got to get involved. It's happened, believe it or not, but very rarely do I ever have to get involved. But teach them your business hours, show them the respect from day one. Even if you don't have it yet, say, you know what, hey guys, I'm so excited to announce my business hours. I don't care if you've been a leader for 13 months and now you're implementing business hours, do it. Give your husband the respect, give your wife the respect of having that phone put down and you're showing the importance, because guess what? They will resent the business. And I experienced this when I was coming up, when I was barely director, because I felt like so much pressure, like, oh my God, I gotta answer, watching a movie, gotta answer, going to the movie theater, going to the car wash, driving, taking on my phone. Business hours, guys. When we don't train our own teamies, other people end up having to do the job for you. And then it's not fruitful like that. You will lose your team like that because they will lose the respect, or they're going to out promote you. And what do I mean by that? We can be out promoted 100%. So let me use Selena as an example, and not because, where is she at? She's still on here? No, let me not. I know. Oh, there she is. Okay, I'm going to use you as an example, not because this is you in any way, but just because we're friends that I could do that. So Selena's a director. Okay, Sean, you're under Selena, right? Okay, so say Selena's not training her team, which she is. She's great, but say she's not, and Sean is like, I'm working. I'm not hearing from Selena, but I'm working. I'm doing. She's promoting. She hits director. Now they're the same title. Selena no longer gets paid on Shondine as a director. So she loses that money because Sean's working, and then she promotes the star director. Guess what? Selena's that director. She doesn't get paid on her anymore. And I don't want you guys to bottleneck or try to sabotage your teamies from growing, because that's not cool. Please don't do that. But make sure you're there for them and you're coaching them, because you can be outgrown and you don't want to do that. You want to be that asset. They trusted you. They signed up under you, right? When you're in leadership, it's not optional to coach and it's not optional to train. And that's why I wanted to say that. If you decide that after hearing all of this, or hearing that you gotta be available to your teammates, not 24/7, please. If you think that you're gonna text your sponsor or director and they should get back to you within minutes, you got a whole wrong mindset. For my people that are directly under me, let me see, Gina's phone died. Who's directly under me on here? Kathy, Vanessa. They know they ain't getting an answer right away for the most part, because I'm working my business and I'll get back to them soon. But, and Rebecca's same thing. Like, they know if she don't answer, I'm going to go dig somewhere else. Vanessa goes and digs somewhere else. Kathy goes and digs somewhere else. And who knows, they might find an answer by then. And sometimes, you guys, we have to do that intentionally so that we could teach them to fish and not depend on us for all the answers all the time. There are times when I am available and I'm just like, okay, they can easily find that on the workstation. And for example, my new girl, Yvette, she's brand new. And she's like, oh, what sense does this come in? And I'm like, I'll show you where to find that. I'm not going to, I could have easily said blue grotto, yellow water and cucumber, da, da, da. And by the way, Gina, no, Gina's not on here anymore. I forgot I was supposed to send her flowers. Teach them where to find the answer. Teach them how to fish. Do not give them the answer, or else they're going to depend on you for everything, always and forever. You don't want that. Okay, you can easily give them the answer. It's probably easier to give them the answer, but then what? They're never going to learn. So I could have easily told her the fragrances and been done with it. Oh, well, what do you mean on the workstation this? Or so it became a little bit lengthier in training, but now she gets it. Oh, when does the cotton cleanups come back in stock? I'll show you where to find that, girlfriend. And then now she knows how to go and she won't ask me that question again, right?
Yeah, Rihanna, I try to always tell you, like, can you show me where I can find this? Just so that way I don't have to bug you anymore. I know where to go and I know exactly how to find it, because I don't want to be bugging you or inconveniencing anybody. Just show me where to go and then I'll figure it out from there.
And please don't think it's bugging, but it's more like a teaching. It's more.
Yeah, just
bugging
like
me
we're
at all.
all busy and I don't want to, like, I'm just like, just tell me one so I can figure it out and then
Yeah.
I'll go from there.
That's one thing she does say. She'll be like, I looked everywhere before I messaged you. So I just want to let you know I did try, because there's some people that don't try at all. And I'm just like, okay, like that's like on the cover as soon as you open up the dashboard. But you're not bugging me, and nobody's ever bugging me. If you ever send me a message, like Karina called me the other day because we had an issue that we had to deal with, and she called me. And what is the biggest thing I say? What do I say? Don't freaking call me,
Don't
right?
call
Like,
you.
don't call me. I hate phone calls, but I knew we had something to discuss. So when I answered the phone, she was like, oh my God, you answered your phone. And I'm like, ta-da, like I know there was something we had to deal with. So people know expectations, set your standards. It is what it is. Doesn't make me a bad person because I don't want to be on the phone, but that's just my preference. And I will do what I got to do. And you're not ever bugging me. There's just sometimes I'm not available, and vice versa for you guys. Be confident that you don't have to get back to your teamies right away. Okay. I've had people, I reached out to so-and-so and they never responded, and I'll talk to so-and-so. Girl, she just freaking messaged me 2 minutes ago, and they'll screenshot me the text. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. I'll say, oh, I just talked to your sponsor. She'll get back to you shortly. I've got your guys' backs like that because people are funny. So we'll just leave it at that.
Rihanna, can I just quickly say something?
Go for it.
I know you have to set boundaries as well with your upline, I guess you would say, because when a Jessica had her persons that's under her, she'll call her or text her and say, oh, I need to know this. And Jessica's like, it's here. And she's like, yeah, but it's just easier for me to get the answers from you. So Jessica gets really frustrated. So Jessica needs to put her foot down and say, no, this is what you got to do. But that's one thing, we have to set boundaries from the beginning.
Absolutely. And if you didn't, guess what? You can start tomorrow. And these people that are so expectant and so entitled, I understand some of us are not confrontational. I'm like, I'm ready. Like, I'm just like, put me in, coach. But there's not everybody like that. So if you're a leader on here and you're not confrontational and you feel like some of your team is taking advantage of you because of how gracious you are, and maybe that you give in a little bit too easy, stop it now. Because the bigger your group gets, the harder it's going to be for you. And you're going to feel obligated to be at their beck and call. And that's not your responsibility. I had somebody tell one of my leaders, oh, you're supposed to be available to me all the time when I have questions. I don't have to call customer service. You're supposed to be giving me all the answers. Legit, I seen the text. This isn't fake. And I was just like, it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. I don't think I would have known how to handle that. But you guys are not at their beck and call. Okay, teach them where to go on your time. Do not ignore them for days and all that. Like, don't like play hard to get kind of thing, but just make sure that you know that they know how to look for answers without you there, because you're not always going to be available to them, and you shouldn't be all the time available to them. Okay. I don't know what I meant by that either. So let me say this, as leaders, we want to promote. Yes, Elizabeth, we're taught respect as a little kid, but I guess some people forget to use it. And believe it or not, some people are not taught respect. So they come into this business and they're like, I want a pony and I want it now. Like that's not, I'm like, excuse me, I'm 41 years old, like what? But when we want to promote, when we're trying to grow in the business, we have to make sure our mindset is pure. We have to make sure our motives are pure. We have to make sure that we're not just in this business to try to earn an incentive or try to earn a trip, and we're going to use everybody we can step on to get there, right? Because they'll feel that. They'll recognize that, and they'll be like, I don't want to help her. She only wants me to win because she wants to win. Naturally, you guys, when our team wins, we will win. When we focus on the people instead of the promoting, then that's when we will see true growth in our teams. If you're constantly telling your teamies, oh, well, you need to hit 500 because if you don't, then I don't get this. When did their business become about you? They owe you nothing. They don't owe you a damn thing. What you owe them is leadership and stewardship and grace and love on them. So once you do that, it's a little bit easier to have these discussions with people. Like, what's your goal for the month? Oh, I'm going to sit back this month. And then you're all pissed off. She's not going to be active this month. Well, girl, get a new teamie and get that chick active. You know what? We can't be blaming our team if we don't promote. We can't be blaming our team because we don't have enough active frontline. You don't have enough active frontline, it falls on you because you're not recruiting. And that's just it, plain and simple. Okay. And I hope I'm not offending anybody. I'm just being real with you guys because I want you guys to understand the leadership and what it takes to coach, to be the coach that's going to coach the coach. Be the coach that's going to coach be the coach to your team, because if you're not a strong coach, you guys are gonna be leading blindly and you're not gonna know where you're going and how to get there. In a nutshell, as we wrap this up, in order to be a strong coach, you have to build that trust with your team. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take transparency. It's going to take pure hearts and pure motives. If you want to promote, guess what? You don't put that on your people. You work your tail off to get these people to succeed. Invest in these people, love on these people, and the growth is going to happen naturally. The ones that don't want it, you bless them and you move on. You get more people in. You don't put pressure on these people. Oh, you have to be active this month. Or you need to do. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Okay. When they rise, we will naturally rise. I want you guys to take ownership in the Squad Goals page. Post more, share more, like more, comment more. Not because I want that engagement. Like, I don't need this page for myself, you guys. I created Squad Goals for a community, for everybody, so that we can learn and grow from each other. And these people, you guys on this page, everybody on this page that I can see, Rebecca, Danielle, Lisa, Frankie, Christina, Elizabeth, Gabriela, Desiree, Christiana, Angela, Karina, Kathy, Berlin. Who's on iPhone? Gabby? That's you, right, Gabby? Okay, Nicole and Selena and Vicky and Wendy and Shandine and Vanessa and Christina. You guys all have something to offer, okay? You guys are here on a call on a Thursday night when you could be anywhere else. You chose to be here.
Sorry.
Go and show your talent and your leadership on the Squad Goals page, and on your director's page, be present. If you're not present on your director's page, don't bother being present on the Squad Goals page. I don't respect that type of leadership, by the way. Oh, I'm only going to talk to the superstar director. Oh, I'm going to talk to the director. I see it. I don't think any of you on here are that person, but I see it. So, Don't be that person. Go out and love on your team. Is there any questions about what we talked about tonight? Because tonight's the foundation. We're building from here. We're going in depth next week. I'm going to show you how to run reports next week to where on the 1st of the month, on the 15th of the month, and the last 10 days of the month, how to see who to work with, who your next leaders are, who your shining people are, who you have to reach down to that are not your direct frontline. And we only do that, you guys, if their sponsor's not working with them. Please don't go around that person and make them feel like they're not a good enough leader. Talk to that leader. So Selena has leaders under her. If Selena sees that there's a girl under her that's a rock star, I mean, that's under one of her teamies and her teamie's not coaching, not engaged, not involved, but that person brought in somebody and that person's a rock star, she can reach out to so-and-so. We'll just say Shondine, not that it's you, but since you're here. Oh, Shondine, hey girlfriend, just checking in. Oh my gosh, Gabriela is kicking butt this month. Have you been able to talk to her? No, I'm busy, you know, school and life and husband. And da, da, da. Okay, well, you know what? Do you mind? I'm going to go ahead and reach out to her so that she knows that I'm here if she needs help. And I just want to celebrate her. Do you get how to reach down? Don't just do it without talking to their sponsor. If their sponsor doesn't respond, that's your green light. Hey, so-and-so, I'm just checking in. I can't believe how well Lisa's doing this month. Ghost, cricket. All right. Hey, Lisa, oh my God, girl, I just wanted to come and shout you out. You are doing amazing. They need somebody, even if you're not their direct sponsor. If that person falls off, they roll up to you. If you're, who's trying to be a director on here? Who wants to hit director? Okay. If you're trying to hit director and say, Gabriela promotes Shondine to director, that person, even though she's not directly under you, becomes your first generation director. And that's how you promote to star director. And that's how you promote to superstar director. All of the frontline directors that you get. Okay. So build the relationships with your entire groups. Okay. Is there any questions now from what we talked about to now?
So you text them 3 times on the 1st, the 15th, the last day. How often do you do a coaching call? Once a month?
Yes. And I only do it with those that want it. I'll throw it out there. I use the app called Calendly, Calendly. It's a free app. And what I do is I put my availability on a calendar, and then I'll shoot out a text and I'll say, hey, Vanessa, my calendar is now open for action plan calls. Pick a date if you're interested and let me know if you want to talk about PRV, leadership, or recruiting. Those are the 3 topics that are on there. And I'll upload that file so you guys can start using it. And then she'll text me, she'll click the link, it opens up my calendar, and then they can say, oh, Thursday at 3 works for me, ding. And then I get a notification, Vanessa scheduled a call at 3 p.m. on Thursdays, whatever. Okay. And then I put that in my calendar, and then I'll send her a copy of that form and say, okay, here's your form. We'll fill it out together. And you guys will see it when I post it. I have it here so you guys can just see it real quick. Look at how easy peasy that is. And it's even easier when you walk through it. So yes, 1st, 15th, and 30th, and I will do a coach. Oh, let me say this. I do once a month. But if we talk about something, Shondine, and we say, oh, we're going to go for 500 a month. What are you going to do to get to 500? I'm going to do a basket party. I'm going to do da-da-da. And then when we follow up at the end of the month, if they have done none of those things, I say, do those things first, and then we'll schedule you a new call. You're not going to waste my time. You're not going to spend 15 minutes on the phone with me and not do any of the things that we talked about and then want another coaching call. Those are vampires. They suck your blood and your energy out of your body and your life. So you don't want to keep feeding into that. Oh, I didn't do the basket party after all because, okay, you know what? Let's roll that over to next month, and that's your new action plan for next month. Once you work on that, we'll move on.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Okay, so this is the first month that I'm actually starting to do the coaching calls. So what I did was I told my frontline, here's the paper I want you to fill out. and then send it to me, and then we'll schedule a coaching call. I haven't heard from anybody, and I don't want to let the month go by without me having coaching calls with anyone. So what do you suggest? Do I stick with that?
That's a good point, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Do I just?
I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to touch on that and I didn't. So you're going to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and offer these calls. And guess what? There's going to be times where nobody takes you up on it. You keep offering it every single month. You don't just send them a form. Did you just send them a form, Selena, without asking who wants one?
I made a post, and then I said, I tagged who my frontline are. And then I said, fill this out, or I print it out and send it to me. Or a couple people said, I don't have a printer, and I said, so then just write it down and then send me a picture or text me the answers, and then we'll schedule your call.
Okay, you can do it that way if that works for you. But for me, I send them a personal text with my link and my calendar. If they want it, they're on it and I get notified. If they don't, hear this, out of 60 frontline, guess how many schedule a call? 4. And I'm not chasing anybody. I didn't say again, hey, did you get my text? No, the 4 that want it scheduled a freaking call. Even if there was one, even if there was none, guess what? May 1st comes. Hey guys, my calendar is now open. Let me know if you want. You keep staying consistent and eventually people are going to jump on board. Okay. No matter what, even if you guys don't get one person on that action plan call, you guys keep offering it every single month. Any other questions?
And just as like, Selena, like I'm on your front line, and I think it's really important, or a really important note that she said to text it, because I didn't see, even if you would have tagged me, I mean, that's something I just overlooked. So I think the personal messages definitely would work a lot better.
Okay. I'll send the text message.
Good feedback. And yeah, not everybody's on Facebook every day. And I learned that the hard way when I posted on leadership posts and people are like, oh, I didn't even see it. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, people don't go on Facebook every day, and that's just reality. Okay, any other questions before we wrap it up? Okay, so in a nutshell, be more active on Squad Goals page. I want to hear about your action plan calls. If you don't get any, then let me know that too. But I want to know who's, actually I needed to write who is on here, because whoever is not being invited to the next meeting. Hold on one second. And I know Gina was on here earlier, so she's fine. Christina, Vanessa, Wendy, Berlin, Nicole, Selena, Kathy, Karina, Angela.
If you missed the pieces I have on,
John. Rebecca, can you read any questions that are in the comments that I might have missed while I'm writing this down?
a lot of different things. I only have one left, okay? And this pair of earrings that I'm wearing right now, it's very flappery, like very femme. Ooh, like a mermaid.
Sorry.
Christiana, Desiree, Rebecca, Frankie, Christina, Elizabeth, Gabriella, Danielle, Lisa. Okay.
Okay, we do have one. Let me pull it back up. What is your advice for those who you tell the chain of command and resources to, but they don't respect those boundaries?
Keep reinforcing, and then whoever they're going to, try to partner with that person and say, hey, if you could go, I'd appreciate just to send them back to me so that they can, learn that this is how we work group wide. Because some people just won't respect it, like I said a little bit earlier, and they'll be like, oh, I need to talk to the director. I need to talk to, they just don't respect it. So, and once I know that, if I get a text from that person, immediately it's going to ding my light bulb and I'm like, okay, go ahead and reach out to your sponsor.
I actually did that to you once, and Jessica had answered my question. but I learned, and I learned the hard way, and sometimes that's how you learn.
Christina reached out to me one time, and I don't remember what you asked me about. I don't remember, but this is what I do. And if any of you have not experienced it, I will screenshot the text that they send to me, and I will send it to their sponsor, and I will say, hey, so-and-so sent me this question. Can you please help her work through it? Easy. It's not, I'm not angry. I'm not anything like that. And sometimes they'll say, oh my God, I told her, like Jessica said, oh my God, I already told her. But then there's other people like, oh, she didn't even ask me, you know, like they're trying to go around them. And that's where I learn character of people as well. So I'm careful when we tread on different areas. So I will screenshot it to you, and I will show you, and I'll say, hey, Nicole, so-and-so messaged me this. Go ahead and let her know. And then I'll tell them, I'll say, hey, I let your sponsor know, she'll be reaching out to you soon, or you should reach out to her with this question. But I let them know that I let their sponsor know. Okay, so our homework, most importantly, most important out of everything that we talked about, get those coaching action plans done. I'm going to upload it, and I want you guys to shoot me these calls or your scheduled calls that you have with people as soon as they start responding. I would say tonight's kind of late to send the invite. Maybe do it tomorrow, and then start inviting people for your coaching call. And then let me know if you want me to help you get started. Like, oh, what do I say when she answers the phone? Like, how do I start it? Text me, don't call me, text me, message me, and then I'll help you. Like, okay, well, as soon as you answer, do this or whatever, right? And build your team page. Build your communication. If you don't have a team page, get something going to where everybody's interacting. Build that culture. If you don't follow all your teamies on Facebook and Instagram, do that. Like
Brianna, even if it's just the one teamie,
yep,
still do it, still
Yep.
reach out regardless, right?
Yes.
Because I've been reaching out to her and I've gotten nothing, but I'm okay with that too. Cause I'm just like, I can't be babysitting you either,
Yep.
but I'll still reach out. And if I get nothing, I'll let you know, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
just wanna
even if
make
you
sure.
guys get nothing, I want to know, please.
Okay.
I have
My-
one question.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry.
My teamie is 15 days in. Should I keep her action plan as trying to hit sensational start, or should I make a new one for her?
I would say talk to her and ask her, hey, what is something you want to learn in this business? What is something that maybe one of your top questions, because you don't want to make it about what you think she should hit, right? Because even though she's on her way to sensational start and she's on that track, you still want to leave it up to her to be like, hey, what are your questions that maybe we can address? And you can add it in, you could tie in sensational start somehow, some way into that conversation. Let me know what she says and I'll help you tie in 70.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
My downline or the person I sponsored was my daughter. So I tend to ask her questions and she kind of ignores them. I mean, I know we're family, but do I just continue to push her, or
Yes, you can lead her, don't push her, because this is what I learned. My daughter's in the business. You guys know my daughter, Raina. That dynamic is hard to maneuver, especially when they get into leadership, because you got mom and daughter already where you can't tell daughter anything because daughter knows everything already. So that dynamic, and then working in a business, it gets kind of tricky. So all you got to do is say, like what I tell Raina, I'll reach out to Raina and I'll say, hey babe, oh my gosh, this is one of the messages, babe, you are so close to promoting a superstar director. I think it's going to happen in the fall. Here's what I see that, no, the first thing was what do you think? What are you working on? And she gave me her comment, and then I responded back, well, here's what I see. So if we focus on this, so if you talk to her like you do, like if any of these other teamies were yours, then she will learn to respect that type of dynamic between you guys, business and mom. And Reina, it took her a minute because she's young. They're young and they don't know how to separate the two. And she finally took that. And this is for anybody on this team that has a young teammate under them. Their mindset, we can't forget, their mindset is a lot younger and they haven't experienced a lot of life like we have, and they don't know how to react to certain things, or they're reactive to certain things they shouldn't be. So we got to be careful, and with mother-daughter it's a little bit harder. So just separate the two. Like, don't, hey babe, are you gonna come to the picnic? Make sure you bring your Scentsy catalog so we can, like, don't tie in the two. Enjoy your family time with her and don't talk about Scentsy. When it's Scentsy time, talk to her about Scentsy. Get it? Like, don't intertwine.
It seems like she has no push right now. I know she just started a new job and she just had a baby, but so maybe I should go, hey, you know, come say, hey, maybe one day we can go and do samples together so you can start, you know, sending out samples. Or I just trying to push her, like, you know, we got her active last month, Jessica and myself, we actually bought to make her active, to help her, like, hey, you know, you can do this. It's not very much, you know, let's get going. You'll get free product. You can do this, you know. So we're trying to encourage her, but I don't want to push her to the edge where she doesn't want to do it either.
You just said something I want to elaborate on. You said two different things that are totally different directions. You said you want to encourage her and you want to motivate her. They're different. They're very different. You cannot motivate anybody. You can encourage them, but you cannot motivate them. If she's not motivated, it's going to be on her timing, and you can't pull her and you can't push her because she's going to resent you, because then that's when mom's nagging. Mom's nagging, like, stop, mom. Like, that's what it's going to be like. So what you got to do is just take a step back, and you and Jessica work the business, and she's going to see you guys working together and sitting at the table and doing samples and talking about the business, and she's going to want that. Everybody wants to do something with mom. They want to feel, you know, like part of. So, and you could even invite her, hey, we're me and Jess are going to make samples. Do you want to come and make them with us? Or hey, we're going to go do deliveries. You want to jump in the car? Stuff like that. Yeah. But you can't motivate her. You definitely could encourage her. But if you feel like at any point that you're trying to make her do something she don't want, and it sounds like that right now, then back off a little bit, because it might take that for her to desire it, to want it.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ree?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you answered this. So the paper that needs to be filled out, if that doesn't get filled out, but they still want to do a coaching call,
I don't have them fill it out right now. I go through it with them because it's brand new. And I want them to understand how to fill it out. Because right now, if they're filling it out, they're going to fill it out to how they think. And it's different. It's very different. Let me show you guys. Action, effectiveness, results. We're going to say, if they want to work on PRV, what's your goal? Well, this is recruiting. Just pretend it says PRV. PRV, they want 500. Okay, so what are you going to do to get 500 PRV? I'm going to have a basket party. I'm going to do a Facebook party. I'm going to hand out flyers or whatever. Okay, well, you said number one, you want to have a bag party. Talk to me about your bag party. Have you coached your host? What does coaching your host look like? Did you give them a this? And did you do it? So you're walking them through an effective way to make this bag party a success. Oh, I'm going to have a VIP party. Okay, on your VIP party, who are you inviting? How are you doing it? Are you interacting on your page? How many times are you going to post a day? So you're breaking it down for them. No more blind goals. No more, okay, go have a bag party. Okay, she said have a bag party. Okay, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, now we're showing them how to do it. So they're coming in with a blank form. We're not giving them the answers, but we're going to teach them how to work through a goal. Okay, I want to have 3 bag parties. That's awesome. What about your bag parties is going to be, how is it going to be effective? Okay, so, oh, I want to do mailers. Okay, great. What are you going to mail out? Because when you go do mailers, like, this is what my action calls were. I mean, my coaching calls were, go do mailers. Here you go. That's part of your goal. Great. We'll follow up. Oh, she said to do mailers. What do I put in my mailers? Like, I don't even, you know what I mean? So we're great. Make sure in your mailers, you have your business cards, you have a sample, you have and then you get them out by Monday. Let's set a date. Give them a structure. Okay, and that's going to help them because a lot of them don't know where to start, and now they're sitting with a plate full of goals, and now they don't know how they're overwhelmed because they don't even know where to start. Only 3. Don't do more than 3. If they only want to focus on 1, let them do 1. No more than 3 though. And I can't wait to upload these for you guys because they're so simple and so easy, and they have changed the way that I have coached, and it's made it more effective. And Vicky, I got your message, by the way. Okay, any other questions?
What was the name of the app you said that you use?
Calendly, Calendly, and it's free.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and end this. I wanted to end it at an hour, but I appreciate all the questions. That's showing me that you guys are engaged and you guys are ready to work this and ready to grow in leadership. The next training is going to be a little bit more detailed. So make sure you have a computer because I want you guys doing this. Well, you're going to be, you can open a different tab and you could still hear me as I'm speaking. I want you guys to go into your workstation as we're creating these reports so that you guys can pull them up every month. I'm going to walk you through from step 1 to the ending step to how to create reports to look for people to work with. Okay, so it's going to be intense. Not bad, but it's going to be informative. And bring your notebook and your pen because I want you guys to remember this. To your coaching calls, communicate. Yes, Christina, just like that. Anything else? I hope this was helpful for you guys on the foundation and setting ground standards and expectations for you as a coach, and for you setting expectations and a culture for your teams, because that's where it starts. So off we go into reports next week, and I'll send you guys the link on Thursday morning. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.